Accuplacer NGN with all subjects. Question 1. Stamp collecting, being a hobby that is, sometimes used in the schools to teach economics and social studies. Being a hobby that is a hobby because it is. Which is a hobby? Is a hobby. Question 2. Knocked sideways, the statue looked as if it would fall. Knocked sideways, the statue looked. The statue was knocked sideways, looked. The statue looked knocked sideways. The statue, looking knocked sideways. Question 3. To walk, biking, and driving are Pat's favorite ways of getting around. To walk, biking, and driving. Walking, biking, and driving. To walk, biking, and to drive. To walk, to bike, and also driving. Question 4. When you cross the street in the middle of the block, this is an example of jaywalking. When you cross the street in the middle of the block, this. You cross the street in the middle of the block, this. Crossing the street in the middle of the block. The fact that you cross the street in the middle of the block. Question 5. Walking by the corner the other day, a child, I noticed, was watching for the light to change. A child, I noticed, was watching. I noticed a child watching. A child was watching, I noticed. There was, I noticed, a child watching. Question 6. Going back to his old school, everything there looked smaller than Don remembered. Going back to his old school. When he went back to his old school. To go back to his old school. As he went back to his old school. Question 7. Painting, drawing and to sculpt are some of the techniques artists such as Picasso used to express themselves. Painting, drawing and to sculpt. To paint, to draw, and sculpting. Painting, drawing, and sculpting. To paint, draw, and sculpting. Question 8. Playing sports in school, which is an activity meant to teach teamwork and leadership skills students can use later in life. Which is an activity because it is. Being an activity which is an activity. Question 9. Glancing at his watch, Daniel picked up his speed. Glancing at his watch. He glanced at his watch, and to glance at his watch. He glanced at his watch. Question 10. For a snake, shedding their skin up to 8 times a year is part of a natural process. For a snake, shedding their skin. A snake's shedding its skin. When a snake sheds its skin. To shed its skin, for snakes. Question 11. I was surprised by the noise peering through the window to see who was at the door. I was surprised by the noise peering. I was surprised by the noise, peered. The noise surprised me, peering. Surprised by the noise, I peered.